Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I'm FPL D-Unit and today you're here for a Club World Cup Fantasy Matchday 3 team selection video. My wildcard is active because I'm already over this game. I'm already over this tournament. I'm not really... There's about 160,000 people that are playing the game, but I think a lot of people have already lost interest. Some of the standard of football has been unbelievably woeful. Honestly, it's not a very good advertisement. Man City continue to exploit the rules. How they haven't been fined yet by FIFA is one and only mystery. Pep Roulette, the rules say that he should be fielding his full strength team. He's literally rotated his entire team between match days. We'll talk about that a bit more about that. Without further ado, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, join the league code if you haven't already. It's in the video description as well. There'll be no deadline stream today because it's on at 2 a.m. the deadline, and there's no way I'm waking up for it. This isn't FPL. It's just something to fill in the time between that and that game dropping. And for anyone that is after FPL content, it will be coming soon. I'll have a fixture analysis of my opinion of the fixtures, hopefully by the end of the week. If not, it'll be early next week before hopefully the game drops with the new prices, which is all very exciting. And then we can really ramp up for the start of next season. But with all that being said, let's go. So here we are. My thoughts ahead of, well, post-match day 2, really. How bad are some of these teams, honestly? How bad are these teams? How are they in there? Why, like, Man City and Juventus have had the easiest group. They play each other in the final match day, so avoid them then. But they've had Wydad Casablanca and Al Ain are probably two of the worst teams along with Auckland City. How did these teams qualify for what is meant to be the Club World Cup? Honestly. If FIFA are going to bring this back in 4 years' time, these rubbish teams, I don't care if they've won their regional qualifiers or whatever, they should go into some playoff system versus the league winners from England. I'm not a Liverpool fan at all. I'm a Man United fan. But how they aren't there and some of these teams are makes zero sense at all. FIFA, you need to sort that out. Honestly, this is just me griping about it, but some of these games have been unbelievably bad. Yes, there were some really high-scoring games this week, and there were some better games, but honestly, some of these teams should not be representing the top 32 best teams in the world. Come on, FIFA, turn it up. Playing the 12th man this week generally went much better than if you played at the previous match day. Obviously, Haaland started this week, so that was obviously a positive. Lots of people played on Benfica players that they generally returned and played pretty well. Yeah, obviously you didn't have the Mbappe problem. A lot of people played on him match day 1, Erling Haaland match day 1 like I did. If you played it this week, you just generally went a lot better. It's the honest answer to that. Manual subs this week worked really well for me. I actually got the maximum captain by doing my manual subs this week. So that was a bonus. Yeah, that was a nice bonus. Unfortunately, though, I've been quite unwell on the weekend, and I missed like the cutoff between swapping Somner out, who conceded, for Amani. So I actually ended up leaving Amani 7 points on the bench, and Somner, obviously his points counted, and I got 2, so that was disappointing. Pep Roulette, as I said, is alive and well. Man City just need to be fined. FIFA, grow some balls and go and find them. Like, you can't be sitting there and changing your entire team. That is not, even one of those teams is not the full strength team. And in your own laws, it says, in the rules for this competition, it says you'll field your full strength team. Come out and find them. You've got no balls. I'm saying it straight up off the bat. Yeah, it just needs to be done. I'm sick of seeing Pep Roulette. I'm already sick of it, and FPL hasn't even started. I don't even know. This is actually kind of turning me off just picking Man City players in general for the start of the FPL season. I thought Haaland was nailed. Obviously, rested the first game, plays this game against Juventus. Is he going to be benched again? Who knows at this point, honestly. Chelsea have a Jackson problem. Like, they have a legitimate Jackson problem. They have a Cole Palmer problem as well. And, yeah, Jackson just keeps getting himself suspended for just dumb challenges. Honestly, I don't know what he was doing there. Wasn't very clever. Yeah, just not intelligent. Not intelligent at all, Jackson. And Cole Palmer, I'd just be steering clear. If you want Chelsea assets, just look somewhere else. There's no value in those ones at the moment. In terms of the league leader, we have a new league leader, J Tawarangi FC. His overall rank of 283. He's up to 205 points. He had 116 points this game week. Did very well there. The top scorer actually, though, for the round, and he's actually even higher. It's really weird. This is how FIFA they've got a lot of things to learn with their fantasy. He's actually got more points overall than the current league leader. But because he only joined the league at the end of match day 1, his first match day points don't count, which seems unbelievably dumb. Why would you be able to join a league and your points you've already accrued to that point in the season wouldn't count in that league? Makes no sense to me. In FPL, that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, FIFA, it does. So unfortunately, Rapid 270, congratulations on your top score of 120 points for the week. Unfortunately, though, you're actually below me in the rankings, even though you're actually ranked, I think, 80-something or something like that overall. So well done to you, and keep doing what you're doing. You're much higher up in the overall standards. So how did my team go in match day 2? Well, I did obviously make 5 transfers and I took a -9. So in reality, I got 74 points, but it went down to 65, which was enough to drop me 4,000 odd spots. And the reason why I did that is because obviously I wanted coverage of the Benfica game against Auckland City, because Auckland City are absolute rubbish. And thankfully, Otamendi, 10 points. Pavlidis as captain, 22 points. That was really good. Kane obviously returned to some form. Haaland obviously got picked. Unfortunately, I didn't get the memo about Pep just changing his whole team. So Phil Foden started on the bench, came on and got 1 point. He did have a couple of shots blocked, but yeah. And then the rest was all pretty disappointing. I mean, Hakimi, I was expecting points there. Didn't do anything. Kukurea, ditto. Musiala again started on the bench, not ideal. Francisco Mora. So I've got lots of issues in this team, which is why I've wildcarded and just got rid of a lot of them, to be honest with you, because they just weren't cutting the mustard. Amani obviously was the only points I left on the bench. Everything else I managed to manual sub out. So other than that, I did a pretty good job at doing that. And obviously getting captaincy points this week after ending up with 0 from my captaincy last week and literally playing with 11 players, even though I had 12 man active, was pretty fair reflection in the end. So pretty consistent from week to week. Unfortunately, I did take -9. This week, though, we won't have to worry about that. And that leads us on to the captaincy roulette that was, again, enacted for the D-Units team this particular game week. So we started with Francisco Mora in the opening game, I think, of this match day. He ended up with 1 point. Porto actually quite disappointing in that game. Being beaten by Inter Miami. Pretty sure I've got the right teams. I hope I have. Either way, otherwise I've stuffed it. Then I obviously moved it to Hakimi, who was the next cap off the rank. Unfortunately, PSG dominated that game, but lost 1-0. So Hakimi only ended up with 2 points. So that was rather disappointing. So I was like, oh, it's going to be like last week, my last match day all over again. I'm going to keep dodging the captain. But then thankfully, Pavlidis, 11 points. I went with him next. I did weigh up going for Otamendi. There was only 1 point difference in between. I probably would have taken Otamendi's 10 points and just left it at that. But he got 11 points. That was very nice and what I was kind of hoping for. So, look, for once, the captaincy roulette, changing it from match to match, did pay off this game week. Hopefully, I can do it again in the next one. Unfortunately, though, with the fixtures, as we'll see very shortly, FIFA are playing them at the same time, so there's not as much room to change and do manual subs in and out of your team because every group finishes their group stage games together. So that leads us on to the fixtures, and here they are. So starting tonight, or today, depending on when you're watching this, Atletico Madrid versus Botafogo, Seattle Sounders versus PSG. Again, a PSG game looks really nice there against Seattle. I think they should go really well. Now, I would have said Atletico Madrid would have been good against Botafogo, but they need a really big result there in order to get the chockies. Then we look at the next ones, with the Inter Miami versus Palmeiras, Porto against Al Ahly. Porto need a result, so they need a win there. Palmeiras, I expect to beat Inter. That's going to be interesting the way that works out. Group C, obviously, it's Bayern against Benfica, all European clash, and then it's Boca Juniors against the cannon fodder that is Auckland City. How many goals are they going to get? I don't know, but I would imagine that Auckland City at this point probably just want to go home to the winter and tending the sheep in the fields, I think, in New Zealand, if I'm being brutally honest. Then we got Group D. It's Chelsea versus Esperance Tunisia. I expect Chelsea to get a result there, and Flamengo should easily account for Los Angeles Football Club. Thursday, which would be Wednesday night probably. Borussia Dortmund versus Ulsan. Looks like a good fixture to target. The Walombi Sundowns versus Fluminense. There's been goals in this group, so who knows what to expect there. Inter versus River Plate will be an interesting game. And then Uruguay Red Diamonds versus CF Monterrey. I don't know what's going to happen in that game. Group G obviously has Wydad versus Al Ain, probably the 2 and 3rd worst teams in this tournament behind Auckland, playing off on probably what will be either a 6-all draw or a 0-0, just absolute waste of time. Then we've got Juventus versus Man City. I don't know what lineups are going to be going there, so I'll be just dodging that fixture in general. Then we've got Salzburg versus Real Madrid, another European clash. And then Al Hilal versus Pachua, whoever they are. I doubt either of those teams are going to be in the competition post the end of this match day. So my thoughts ahead of match day 3. The best time to play your wildcard chip, if you didn't play it in match day 2, is probably right now. Which is exactly what I'm doing. I did think about playing it after the round of 16, but I think I'm just going to be going with the teams I expect to win and then just hoping that they go through and I can bank some transfers. This time it's Boca Juniors versus the Auckland City Sheep Herders. Load up on them. They're crap. Let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush. They are awful. Load up. I've gone with 3 Boca Juniors players. I did originally think about playing the goalkeeper, and I thought, what is the point of picking a goalkeeper? Might as well go with players that can actually get some sort of attacking returns as well. There's obviously a bunch of big European clashes, so it's best to avoid them and focus elsewhere against these rubbish teams that are absolutely no good. Will we see more high scoring? The answer to that, I think, is probably yes. There's a lot of bad teams in this tournament, and for that reason, I think we are likely to continue to see quite a few high scoring games. So onto my team selection with my wild card active. There is only 4 players. No. Yes. 4 players that survive. 5 players, sorry. 5 players survive out of the 15. So that is Harry Kane survives. I think he'll be fine against Benfica. I think Elise will be fine as well. Hakimi will be good against Seattle, you would think, provided he starts, obviously. And then Amani, obviously, versus Inter. He's in there as well. Just because he's cheap, 4 million, no need to worry about it. I've gone with Waverton in goal. I think potentially there's some chance there that they can potentially keep a clean sheet. Honestly, I couldn't justify wasting any more money there. I have got a few money. I might do a little bit of tinkering, but at the moment, this is how we're looking. Blanco, obviously, is one of my Boca Juniors players, along with Batagilia and Merencio. Some of these guys, I've actually gone with some players this week that are low owned. So if they do return, I am going to get an extra 2 points, provided they get 4 points to begin with. So Sul is one of these. I'm pretty sure Blanco is one as well. Barcola's definitely one now. I've got Barcola in there. I did think about getting Dembele, but the problem is that Dembele's missed the last 2 games. In reality, I don't think he's going to come straight back into the starting lineup. He's likely to start on the bench. But Barcola came on for the last 35 minutes, so maybe he gets a start here instead, which is why I picked him along with Kvaratskhelia. I can't say the Georgian's name, but he's a great player. I expect him to probably do well here. Elise, again, has just been so good for Bayern. There's no reason to be too concerned about Benfica. Benfica are in the Portuguese league. Bayern Munich, obviously, the mighty German giants, so you would expect them to do really well there. Now, I've gone with Arias. I don't even know who he plays for, but he's a low-owned person that I think could be good. Ramos as well, I've also got in. Now, he's got someone as well that I can't remember who he's playing against either. And I'm not sure what they abbreviate to, but I've literally picked them because I wanted to have a bit of fun and just see if they perform. Because they've performed in a couple of the previous games and they're low-owned, and potentially I can make some points up there. I've obviously gone with Delap because I think Chelsea need to win that game, so I expect them to win. Kukurea stays. I mean, it could be someone else, but I think it just makes a lot of sense. He's normally their most attacking fullback. And I think, Delap's got a real good chance here to own that Chelsea starting berth now, and I expect him to kick on and hopefully get some goals here. Yeah, I think that's the team. Will they do any well? Will they get me an average? I've been averaging literally 73, 74 points. This week, obviously, I'm not taking hits, so hopefully it gets the same. Then when we get into the knockout stages, hopefully then I'll come into my own when all these teams that I've got no clue about get knocked out of the comp. Like, it's about to happen. We've only got one more match day to suffer through, so that is what we're going with my team selection for match day 3. hopefully he can get me some points, which would be nice. So that brings us to the end of my team selection with my wildcard booster active for Matchday 3. Good luck in the comments. If you haven't joined the league, feel free to join, but you're already going to be 2 match days behind. Surely FIFA are going to fix that and it'll just even it out. But as of time of making this video, they haven't. So if you do join the league, you're probably going to be starting at a 2 match day disadvantage from what I can work out. But still join anyway. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We'll be back with some FPL content hopefully later this week at looking at the fixtures and my first thoughts about that. I'm not going to be having a match day one game week 1 team reveal until we've actually launched the game, because that is just silly. I know a lot of other people have done it, but for me, that's not for me. Before you go, as I said, smash a like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and good luck in Matchday 3. Hopefully you're putting a booster to good use. I've been FPL D-Unit. I'll catch you again soon.